You are supposedly live.
Hello. That's all we can say because we're so tired.
Hello, everyone. Well, we checked to see about your reverse thrifting whilst the show is already going.
All right, guys. We have exciting news today. Let's see, scroll down. We are
sorry guys,
we're in the middle of selling everything we can, and this lady was going to buy the elliptical, and she asked me about it, and I said, okay, are you interested? Because I have other people. And she said, well, I don't have a vehicle right now. Well, then why are you emailing me? Okay.
Hello, everyone.
Oh, guys, we are dog dead tired. Oh, that's a bad phrase to use for this week. Oh, dear. I'm not very tactful, am I?
No. Say we are dead tired.
We are very dead tired. Moving and all the emotions with Buster and everything. But we're going to talk about where we are moving and when. I'm going to start cooking our dinner first so that everyone can get on. But let me just say, 50% off all our print books for our Please Don't Make Us Move It sale. We beg you to buy our books so we don't have to move it sale. And then our ebooks are 50 to 75% off to help us to get as big of a down payment as we can for our home. Because
or to print new books, one or the other.
Or to print new books, either one. So gluten-free, Dining on a Dime Volume 1 and Volume 2, all of those are 50% off right now. And I know that goes against everything we just learned in our YouTube class today, but hey. All right, so Dave, come over here. I am making a new recipe that I've never tried. This is the time to do it, isn't it? So what I'm going to do is I'm trying to make my Spanish rice, which is in our Dining on a Dime cookbook, Volume 1. And I've got my water and my rice. Now I used a half a cup less water because, and this is my seasoned salt right there. And then my cumin. Do I have any cilantro left? You know what? We're getting rid of everything we can, so I'm going to dump a little cilantro in there. This is just dried. I'll save one for another.
Oh, yum.
Another one.
I love cilantro.
And then some cumin.
And garlic and cumin. Oh, yum.
Okay, got that in there. And then you want extra garlic, so we'll just dump some garlic in there. There we go. And then a little extra salt. Oops. Okay. Now, this is just a throw it together recipe, but it's based on the Spanish rice and Dining on a Dime. And I need to use up my big old thing of picante sauce here. Woo! So I'm just going to dump some in. Ain't moving a big old thing of picante sauce.
Is the wheelbarrow still available?
And yes, it is. And we're just stirring that all together. Now, I did use a half a cup of less water for normally making rice to account for the extra liquid in the salsa, okay? And so then what I'm going to do is, oh dear, I tried to plug this into the outlet. I think I am
Would have been a shocking experience.
I think I'm extremely tired. Okay. And it would help the rice maker if I actually plugged it in. There we go. Okay. So what I'm doing is I have this pepper blend here that I need to clean out of the freezer. Every day I am trying to use 2 or 3 things out of the freezer if I can, because we want to get the freezer totally cleaned out, of course, if we can. Now, this is a little avocado oil. You can use whatever oil you want. I just have avocado to use up. And seasoned salt. And so I'm going to saute these for our quesadillas, okay? And is that somebody coming?
No, it's just...
Okay. All right, so I'm going to saute these first. It would help if I turn that on. And then, Dave, can you hand me a paper plate? And then I'm going to put these on Mike's quesadilla when we do it. Now, quesadillas are one of those things where it's super, super simple. I mean, really, guys, this is not rocket science.
Amy loves the please don't make us move it sale.
I thought that was rather good myself.
Yes.
All right, you can come back to me for a minute, Dave.
As Tara's been really going crazy getting everything organized and moved.
Oh, have mercy. I'm just about, last night, I was in so much pain. I was just like, just take me to the backyard and dig a hole next to Buster, and I will just let you roll me in. Okay, so we have these gigantic tortillas that we need to use up. So I'm making quesadillas out of these. Now what I'm going to do is, because they're so hunkin' big, I don't know, can you eat that, Dave, or do you want just one?
I mean, I usually just don't even eat tortillas.
Just one? Oh, you don't want to eat it. Okay.
I mean,
so what I'm going to do is cut them in half and cook them like this, okay? Now, quesadillas, super simple. You got your tortilla, you got your cheese, whatever kind of cheese you want. I use American cheese, I use cheddar cheese, pepper jack, Monterey Jack, any of that. Then add anything else in that you want to. So like I'm going to put olives and black beans and peppers and onions for Mike. You could make yourself a pizza quesadilla and use pizza sauce and mozzarella cheese and pepperoni. Pretty much any way you want to make it, you can make it. You can put salsa on there if you're doing a Mexican one. Yeah, so all of that. So where I'm going to cook dinner, and we're going to talk about our move.
Woof.
After 5 years. So we're going to tell you the story of what happened. We didn't really tell you what happened with everything. And I can't believe
which part.
I can't believe it's already been a week. Okay, do we have any comments or anything that we need?
Lots of people saying so excited for you. We're so happy for you. Tanya says, I'm excited. $600 due left on my car loan, paying it off 3 years and 3 months early.
Good
Woo.
job. That's great.
And a lot of people saying they're very sorry about Buster. Yeah.
Yeah, so Buster, it just happened to coincide. Buster he was 18 years old. And we've seen, actually, 3 years ago, the vet told me he had 6 months to live. So
He's a fighter.
he really hung on. And so, but Sunday, we finally just got to the point where we had to go ahead and do it. So, well, it was very sad. We were all bawling for 2 days. And yeah, it was really sad. Mike and I took him. The kids didn't go in, but Mike and I took him. So they wouldn't have to be there for that. But anyway, yeah, we're pretty sad about that. But we knew that if we moved, he wouldn't be able to go anyway, because he just has such high anxiety in the car now because he can't see and hear, or couldn't see and hear. And so we knew if we moved that it would be inevitable anyway, but it just kind of happened that way. So anyway, okay, any other comments before we get on our moving story, since everybody's on here?
I mean, just a lot of people wondering about
All right.
the house and wondering about
All
where
right,
and
so
everything else.
I'm going to tell you guys the story of what happened, because if you guys remember, like last week, no, not last week, 2 weeks ago now, I said it's just going to take a miracle for us to find a house. So if you're watching this in the future, this is 2021, and the housing market right now is absolutely berserk. It is crazy. And we've been looking for 5 years for a house. Our neighbors threatened to kill us when I reported them for their dogs continually barking for 15 to 16 hours on end. Finally, the city cited them. Their neighbors showed up at our door, threatened to kill us, threatened to burn down our house. They vandalized our van, and I was just like, I've had enough of this. And so their dogs were a huge nuisance, an absolute huge nuisance. And so that's when we actually started looking. It was 5 years ago. I started looking 5 years ago. And last year then, I was just keeping an eye on something, okay? Well, last year in March, we decided to really get serious and signed up with a realtor, started really, really looking in Colorado. And we will say it now because we're not going there, but we were specifically looking in Colorado Springs, which is an hour and a half from here. And so every time a house would come up, it'd be up on the market 5 minutes. I'd call the realtor and we'd run an hour and a half down there, which is a long time. And there'd already be 5 or 6 people looking at it while we were there. Remember the church? That was crazy.
Oh, down in Springs?
Oh, that was absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
And so we did that all last summer and fall, early fall. And then we decided to stop looking in Colorado. And then Mike and I were like, well, maybe we should go to Wyoming or Montana. Excuse me, Montana. So Mike and I took a trip up to Montana and we stopped by Wyoming on the way. And we were like, this is okay. And then we went to Montana. Well, Montana, we specifically went to Bozeman. It's just as nuts as Colorado. The traffic is awful.
It was actually almost worse.
It was almost worse.
Yeah.
It really was.
Well, specifically, that was in Bozeman. And it's a cute little area, but wow, there's so many people in that cute little area. And the agent was telling us things that are far more difficult than here to get a house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we looked there, and finally we came home. We're like, I don't want to put up with that either. So we came home and we stopped by a town in Wyoming on the way. And we're like, well, this isn't too bad. We kind of like this town. So we were kind of looking a little bit and started looking. Well, we've been looking since October. And in October, 6 houses since October have come up that have met the requirements, or not even all the requirements, that have just met part of the requirements that we were looking for. 6 houses, that's it. So the market there is just as bad. Well, here's what happened. Last Wednesday, I went to go get my hair cut. Do you guys like my new haircut? What do you think of my new haircut?
Yeah.
Oh, thanks, Dave.
It's lovely.
You should say, Mom, you're radiating beauty.
Yeah.
I know I'll never find a girl who's beautiful as you, Mom.
I'm sure.
But
that's
it's
the
okay
case.
if she's second best.
Don't tell her that.
Very good, Dad. And so Wednesday, I went to go get my hair cut at 9:30 with Grandma. My grandma goes with me we get our hair cut down in Denver. So it's a good little drive.
Mike's putting together the show information.
Mike's
Totally
getting the show
focused.
already. Totally focused on the show. I got a new air fryer that we were going to test out live for the first time on the show.
Ooh, everyone's loving your haircut.
Thank you, guys. And so then my grandma and I go over to my aunt's house. So my 93-year-old grandma and my almost 9-year-old, this is the aunt that I share the birthday with, 89-year-old aunt. And she had us over to her apartment for lunch. And I'm sitting there helping her get her TV and her phone together, and we're getting everything fixed up for her on that. And my phone dings for a new house on Zillow. Go ahead. Did you have something you wanted to add?
No.
And my phone dings for a house on Zillow. So I glanced at it and I was like, oh, that's super cute. But because nothing had come up, I kind of brushed it off. And then we had a pause for just a minute. So I went back and looked at it. And I was like, wait a minute. This house is really cute. So I text Mike and forwarded it to Mike because he checks on the internet for us. And as I'm having lunch with my aunt and grandma, and I'm like, check and see if this might work. This looks pretty cool. So he's like, okay. He's like, well, I got to get the show done. I said, I know, but if this works, we're not going to be doing the show. We're going.
He's like, yeah, we've said that for 5 years.
That's exactly what he said.
I know.
And we're eating lunch, and Mike and I are texting back and forth on the house, and I haven't told Grandma or my aunt yet, and because Grandma doesn't want us to move, obviously. And this house is in Wyoming. So it wasn't here. We had started looking in Colorado again, but we just weren't finding anything. So this house is up in Wyoming. So I finished lunch with Mom and Grandma, or with Grandma and Aunt Donnie at 12:30. I get Grandma back to her house, and I'm calling Mike the second I let Grandma off, and I said, I just looked at this again. I think this is a really big contender. I think we need to get a hold of the realtor and let's see if it's got a contract yet. It had only been on the market like 12 hours, but stuff was going so fast. Well, so he's like, okay. So I get home, we look at it. It has internet. It has a huge, we're talking like, I don't know if it's 1,500 square feet, 2,000 square feet, somewhere around there. Separate garage for us to put all the books. It has a water and sewer and electric and heat all in this garage so that we can put a studio out there. It has a bathroom already out there. And then the house is pretty big, but the house was in town, and I really didn't want a house in town. So we get a hold of the realtor. We said, does it have a contract? He said, no. I said, when can we get in to see it? He said, let me see. He said, okay, we can do 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. We said, okay, we're on our way. We're getting in the car as soon as we can get packed, and we're headed up there. He said, okay. So that was at 1 o'clock. Or no, that was at 2 o'clock. By the time I got the realtor, got everything set up, was 2 o'clock.
Mike is like, okay, do I keep working on the show forever? Because we were planning a pretty. It was
going to be a good show.
I think it was going to be a funny show.
And so we're still planning the live show because we weren't sure. So then he said, no, I can get you 9 o'clock. So at 2:30, I told Mike, is when we got all the stuff done, I said, okay. I said, cut the show, make an announcement that we're not having a show tonight. We got to get in the car and go up to Wyoming. And he said, okay. Mike does not do good at all when he has to change gears. So stuff like this just throws him in a tither. But you did good. You did good.
What, the change?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I have a hard time getting focused, and so I have a hard time then changing when I'm focused. And also, I'm really a creature of habit, so if I have to make a major change, like finding out where the silverware is or moving, then yeah, it's a little more. But
you did good. So we get in the car. We're in the car by 3. BJ and Ellie know nothing about this yet. Dave and Jack know, but BJ and Ellie don't know. And so we're in the car, headed up to Wyoming, and I text BJ and Ellie as we're leaving town and said, Mom and Dad are gone. We're headed to Wyoming to look at the house. And they were like, okay. And so we get up to Wyoming, and we get
Laura wants to know what's for sale.
what's for
Laura
sale.
Richards wants to know what's for sale.
Why?
Well, probably because she's not that far away, and she was.
Oh yeah, Laura Richards. Sorry. Yes. Oh man, everything. I'm selling everything. I'm gonna get to that in just a second. So we get up to Wyoming. We get I don't remember. Did we check into the hotel? Whatever. But I don't know if we checked in the. Oh no, we had to eat. We hadn't eaten anything. I hadn't eaten since lunch, and I was getting kind of sick. And so it was a good little drive up there. So we get up there and we drive by the house, and I was like, nope, ain't gonna do it. And I told Mike, I said, we'll tell the realtor we're already all the way up here, but I don't want to do this. It was in town. The house is a really super nice house in a not so super nice neighborhood, but kind of set back by itself.
But the neighborhood isn't bad.
The neighborhood's not awful, but the amount that we're paying for this house is not equal to the neighborhood. Our house is definitely the most expensive house in the neighborhood. It's not like trash or anything, but it's not. And
They're just regular houses,
Yeah.
and this one is not.
And why
This
is
one yeah, just because it has more of the stuff we need for the business.
Yeah. Now, why is that a problem? Because you never want to buy the nicest house in a not so nice neighborhood, because then your value doesn't keep as well as if you buy the cheapest house in a really nice neighborhood. Okay. But we really just couldn't, it just wasn't working. So we went and I was like, nope. Mike's like, yeah. Huh? Are they here? I think it's just Brent. And we were like, no, that's it. I know we just drove all the way up here, a several-hour drive, but I don't like it. There was a house I wanted out in the country, and I wanted no neighbors.
I wanted to be able to do our business, which requires the internet.
So we had a big disconnect here.
Although I
because-
love that country too. Not
Yeah.
gonna lie, absolutely.
So we were having a big disconnect with being able to live in the country, but still having internet to do our business. So I texted the realtor. I texted Ellie first. And I told Ellie, I said, we're not going to buy it. Excuse me, just a second. I said, so don't worry, we're not getting this house. I said, it's just not the location that I really want. So I text the realtor and I said, just to let you know, we just drove by it. And we'll go ahead, since we already have an appointment tomorrow, we'll go ahead and look at it, but I can almost guarantee you we're not going to get it. And he's like, well, he said, don't give up. He said, I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised. And I said, no, I said, I just really don't think this is what I want. So, okay, come here. Let me show you how to make the rest of the quesadilla real quick here. So this one's for Mike, okay? Now, can you hand me the butter, Mike? Now, normally I use margarine on my quesadillas, but do you want a full 2 tortilla one?
2 tortilla one. Oh,
Or a half?
probably half. Since
Okay.
you're so ginormous.
Okay.
Thank you.
So I just put a little bit of butter on here. By the way, guys, our cookbooks, 50% off for our Please Don't Make Us Move It sale. For all our print books, gluten-free, gluten-free Dining on Dime, Volume 1, Volume 2. They are all on sale right now, 50% off, guys. We want to get rid of the books, and we really just do not want to move them. Got beans, got a little bit of seasoned salt here, and then we have some of our veggies here. Oh, that's looking good. And then olives. And here's a little trick, guys, to chop olives. Just smash them through your hands, just like that. And just sprinkle them on there. That's a quick way to chop them. Okay. And then take your other side and butter it. Just like so. Put another layer of cheese on. This holds it all together. Another layer of cheese. And then you're just going to melt it all together. Oh, look at that yummy goodness. Okay. So, back to me, Dave. And check when you use butter, check that it doesn't burn. Okay. All right. So then, Mike and I go to the hotel. We're just sitting by the pool, having a good old time. And then we go up to the next morning. And we go up to the house. And I was like, well, I don't know. Maybe this isn't quite as bad as I thought it was.
Took me about 5 minutes to be sure. It took her a little longer.
Could you grab me another plate for Dad's quesadilla? Sure. And I was like, well, I don't know. Mike's like, no, he said, we really need to look at this. He said, this isn't too bad. Well, there was one house that sits right by our driveway and right by the front porch, kind of. And I had a 6-foot fence, and I was kind of like, but if these people get 2 big dogs or something, I don't want to be listening to dogs barking. He's like, I know, but it's at the front of the house, and everything we would do is at the back of the house. And I was like, well, I don't know. So we walk up. I kid you not.
I'm waiting.
It
It's
had
holding me in suspense.
a beautiful garden.
What?
You want to know the kicker? It had drip irrigation already put in.
And you know what made me realize Tara's going to want this house eventually?
And it was working.
One of the drip irrigation things was pulled out of the ground and it was hanging there spraying on the sidewalk. And she went over and she went, and I was thinking, she's already got the love for this house.
Wow.
So it had drip irrigation already put in. If you guys don't know the whole story with drip irrigation, but I have had every house I have had to put in drip irrigation. It has been this huge nightmare. And even this place, we put it in, and because our house is on a slight incline, it wouldn't go up and water my gardens at the back. So I just gave up trying to fix it. Come to find out, last year I found out there's this little special pump thing you can get it to go up there, but I didn't know that. So anyway, so we decide to walk in. We walk onto the deck. It has a Trex deck. So for those of you, give me a high five, who don't know what Trex is, what is Trex? Tell them what Trex is.
It's a composite material that you don't have to paint.
Ever.
And it lasts for
like
very
50
long time.
years.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So it's not like a wooden
And
deck.
so
Yeah, it's like a plastic composite stuff.
it's a plastic
That looks like
composite.
wood.
Yeah, it's like plastic and something else
Yeah.
blended together. But the thing is that and not like cheap plastic, like
No.
super sturdy. It's heavier than wood. And we've had a wood deck before. And when we had, eventually it got to be splintery, and then you get splinters in your feet if you went bare feet out there. And then
Pain to paint.
And then we had to paint. We had to rebuild part of the deck at that house, and it was a lot harder because of the wood. So
Yeah.
this one being Trex was a big plus.
Because why is that important? The back has a huge, I don't know, how many square feet
Yes,
do you think that?
Ruth, I think it would be done slip because it does have a texture on the Trex.
Oh, I didn't think
Yeah.
about. Oh,
That'd be great for you.
that's what I need. Well, I mean, the back deck is probably what? 700 square feet at least.
It's big.
The back deck is probably 600 or 700 square feet at least, if not bigger. Maybe even 800 or 900 square feet. I don't know. It's huge. It's absolutely huge. So we walk up and it's got Trex for the front porch. Don't have to paint it, nothing. drip irrigation, beautiful gardens, beautiful gardens. By the way, guys, I'm pausing just a moment because we have our Please Don't Make Us Move It sale right now. 50% off all our print books.
You can tell we really don't want to move it.
David, Jack, come here. Come here and tell them how much you want to move all those thousands of books in the garage.
That would be awful. No, thank you.
I'm actually going to count how many.
He's gonna go count them.
Jack, I can tell you, we got several thousand out there.
I'm serious on this.
Poor Dave and Jack have already made 2 post office runs this week with the full van. So anyway, 50% off all our print books, guys. Our ebooks, because we know you guys overseas aren't always able to, well, you can't half the time because the shipping's so high. But 50% off to 75% off our ebooks. So check those out too. Okay, so back to where we were.
Talking about how big it was.
So we got on the deck and I was like, I'm thinking I'm kind of liking this. Look at those quesadillas.
They smell really good.
Do you want to try one?
Yeah.
Right? Don't burn yourself.
So,
So we walk inside and it has the living room, kitchen, and dining room, all one big great room. And it didn't have stairs in the middle of the room. Every house we keep looking at, I don't know what is wrong with these people designing these houses, but they have stairs, just like our house right now, right in the middle of the living room or dining room or
wait,
something.
These stairs are on the side of the house or something?
Oh, they did a beautiful job. Like the house is very well designed.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I was thinking, wow. You know, a lot of the houses that we've had have had kind of okay construction, but that one is somebody put a lot of money into trying to make it a forever house, and then they didn't stay in it.
Well, come to find out later, the realtor told us it was a contractor that built that house. So he knew what he was doing. So we walk in the front entryway and it's a great room with the living room, a beautiful fireplace, kitchen with a double oven, and a dining room with big, beautiful windows. We were like, wow. But here's where it kind of got us. We walked in the house, and tell them what happened when we walked in the house. What did we hear?
Oh, nothing. I was like, I don't remember hearing anything. It was very, very quiet.
Absolutely nothing. This contractor, I don't know what he did. The house did not bounce. The house did not vibrate. The house did not echo. We could not hear a thing. I mean, it was absolutely glorious. So we go in and we look, and there's a bedroom and another bedroom, and then there's a master bedroom, and the master bathroom has got a phone in the toilet. It's got heated floor in the bathroom.
We don't need the phone in the toilet, by the way. It just happened to be there.
I don't know. That might be kind of convenient. It's got a big jacuzzi tub. We were like, oh, I missed my tub, my big tub from the last house. So then we go and look, and it's got a beautiful basement. Upstairs has a gas fireplace. Downstairs has a gas fireplace. It's got 2 hot water heaters. And it has tons and tons of room. Well, so then we went to the garage. And yeah, tell BJ to go park at the end of the street. So then we went to look at the garage, and it was huge. I mean, it was just huge. And we looked, and we would be able to put a studio in the garage and have all the books in there and have the shipping computer in there, so I don't have to go back and forth between the shipping computer and the books whenever there's a problem. I can just walk right around the corner and we can have it right there. So
actually, it would be nice, because one thing we've discovered here is we weren't doing the show before, and the business was mostly on the computer with just a small amount of storage space for books when we moved into this house. But since then, it's taken over about a third of our house.
we have a garage.
All of the garage and about a third of the house. And so in this case, we'll be able to have it pretty much completely separate. That doesn't mean we'll still do videos in the actual house sometimes. But for a lot of the stuff, we can have it permanently set up in its own studio, which will make it a lot easier, because hauling things in and hauling things out takes a really long time, and it's caused us to get less stuff done. And
it's hard because after the show, I'm totally worn out, and the kitchen is a huge disaster, and then I'm too tired to clean it up. But Mike and the kids want to get dinner. Well, the kitchen's a huge disaster, so we can't get dinner. It's a huge pain.
Well, also, Tara she struggles more than everyone else with, if the business place is in the home place, then business never ends. So if she's tired, or it's Sunday morning or whatever, it's hard for her to avoid it when the business and the personal stuff are mixed. And
so that'd be great.
I think it would be more relaxing for her to be able to have it separated, like mentally separated, by being in two different locations. So,
all right, Jack likes just cheese ones, so I got Jack a cheese one right there. Okay, Jonathan, your dinner.
Cherie, it's in town, sort of.
Okay, so I was getting ready to get to that.
Evan asked detached garage. There is an attached garage, and then there's a separate building that also has garage, but we're going to use that for our book warehouse.
All right, there's the Spanish rice, guys. Ooh, it turned out really nice.
Let me show you.
Yum, yum.
Noah's Ark 1962 said, "Is there a bidet? My son's house has a bidet."
No, we're taking our bidets, though. Yeah.
Well, we gotta buy 3 more, though.
We have a couple already, but we like them, and we know the people that buy the house won't. So we're thinking we're gonna keep those.
Yeah.
So
we like them a lot. It was I didn't think we would, to be honest. In fact, Tara was the only one that thought we would.
And here I'm the only one that doesn't use it hardly. But anyway, so we looked at the house and we went to the backyard. It's right over there on the table. And the backyard is it's a steep hill. The backyard is a steep hill. It has a really nice tree house, tons of trees. This is a problem with Wyoming, is finding trees.
Okay, news break. Toby wants to know if we're taking bets on how fast Tara will have fires in both ovens at the same time. I mentioned that, Toby, like fires in stereo.
Hey. You guys know me a little too well.
Oh, it was a fun show. I'm not gonna lie. Especially since you were able to save it anyway.
All right, guys, goatmilkgifts.com. Ellie has 50% off because she's moving also. So go grab, if you guys want soap or goat milk cream, it's 50% off if you buy $50 or more, because Ellie doesn't want to move it either. And I don't know when she's going to get restocked. So if you need something, grab it.
So a number of people are asking if we're going to share pictures at some point.
Okay, yeah, I'm getting there. Haven't got there yet.
I would not share pictures yet.
Hold on.
Hold on. Okay, so we went and...
Oh, by the way, Cousin Tammy's on. She says hi, Cousin.
Tam, you'll have to come visit us. I'll send you a link in just a little bit.
We'll have space for you.
We would have space for you to visit. So it had a steep backyard, so it's going to be a big pain in the patootie to mow. And it's over an acre.
Ms. T was wondering if we need to set up a fire extinguisher fund for the new house.
Yeah.
I would appreciate that.
Fire extinguishers, professional.
And so the drawbacks, it has a steep hill, and so it's going to be a pain in the patootie to mow. We can't do the shows in the kitchen. The kitchen is not configured in the house to be able to do cooking shows.
We could improvise it, but not for very long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then the other thing was it had the neighbor. And so we were like, oh, I don't know. So we went and we spent an hour and a half walking around it. And in that hour and a half, I don't know if it was one or two couples. I kind of got confused on all the people that were there. But anyway, one or two couples came while we were there and still looking. And so the drawbacks are it's in town. It has a neighbor. It's on a hill. The house is on a hill. And we can't do the shows in the kitchen. So we were going back and forth and back and forth. The backyard is beautiful, gorgeous backyard, beautiful flowers. And it looks back on a nature preserve. So you can see houses at the back, but you don't have neighbors behind you. It's got this really nice nature preserve.
They're like far away.
Yeah.
Far away neighbors.
There's neighbors like, quite a ways away. And so we were like, oh man, I don't know. This is really nice. And we were going back and forth. Well, while we were downstairs looking at the basement, a pheasant walks through the yard and he's looking in the back patio door. Yeah. It was pretty cool. And they've got turkeys and pheasant and deer there. So guess what? I've already come up with another YouTube channel we need to do while we're there.
Because she has not enough ideas.
Do you not say the name?
I'm not saying the name yet. Well, we could, yeah, I'm not going to say the name yet.
The
but
name will reveal.
Yeah, the name. Oh, yeah. I'm not saying the name yet. So we looked at it, and I was just like, I don't know. And then I kept having over and over in my head, okay, God does not give us a spirit of confusion. Confusion is from Satan. I'm confused. I don't know if I should do this. It has pretty much all the qualifications except being in the country. That's the only qualification it didn't have. It has enough space with a full kitchen in the basement that if mom doesn't want to live there permanently, she could live there 6 months or a year while she's finding her a place. So, I mean, it had a full second kitchen in the basement and then a bathroom where we can make a third kitchen out in the garage. So I was just like, I don't know. And Mike's like, well, I really think we should get it, but I'm not going to pressure you because I remember what happened on the other house that he really loved and I wasn't so sure about and ended up being a mess. And so he's like, I don't want to pressure you. So we drove around, we drove out to the country and I said, this is actually what I want is this type of thing out in the country. He said, I know, but we can't get internet out here because in Wyoming, internet is and cell phone service is very sparse. And even Elon Musk isn't even there yet. And it's going to be long enough that we couldn't really wait the 6 months or a year on our business.
When she says Elon Musk, if you're not familiar with it, his company is building a thing called Starlink, which is a big satellite internet thing that's supposed to cover rural areas.
Yeah.
But it's not covering them at this point. So
we told the realtor, I said, we're gonna go think about it. They said that they were gonna take offers at 5:00 on Friday. Was it Friday? 5:00 on Friday. They were gonna look at the offers and make a decision then. And so I was like, okay, let me think about it. Well, then the realtor said, by the way, they already have one offer. They got it last night while it was just on the market a couple of hours. I was like, crud. So we drove around for about an hour and a half. We had a school crisis we had to deal with Jack. We had something else. I don't remember, something else happening in the middle, business in the middle of it. I can't remember what was happening. So we were having to deal with all this stuff while we were trying to decide if we were going to buy a house. So finally, we were like, all right, let's just make an offer. It has everything we want. And we're just going to have to pray that if God doesn't want us to get this house. They're going to turn down our offer because I was just not sure.
Vintage outdoor metal chairs are the ones that are gone, right?
Yeah, just put pending.
Oh, they're still here. Okay.
And so I was just really nervous. I was like, I don't know. We went to the realtor. It took us an hour and a half to go through all the contract stuff. And I'll tell you, even up to the last second before we were signing, I was like, I don't know if I should sign this or not. I was like, I don't know. This just isn't what I was wanting for location, but it's got everything we need and a whole bunch of stuff that we want. And I don't know. We were sitting there, and I even told Mike and the realtor, I said, I just don't know if I should sign this or not. Mike's like, Tara, what did you think at that moment?
Wait, what did you talk about?
When I was talking about signing the paper for the realtor, and then I wasn't sure if I should sign it even when they're
it's
sitting
the
there.
phone. It's the phone that people are commenting about. I'm like, what? I saw Cheryl say, "Can you spare a square?" And I'm like, what is this referring to? And then someone else has a whole new meaning of phoning a friend. So I realized what they're talking about. So
yeah.
What were you saying?
What did you think when we were signing the papers? And I was like, I don't know if I should sign it.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm sorry. I've been a little bit distracted checking on the comments. Thank you, Dave, for continuing to do that. She. So I heard Tara talk some bit. She was kind of like, well, we were both the night before. I was thinking, but we drove a long way, so let's go see. I didn't know she'd already told the agent we're probably not going to get it. My thinking is, you drive a long way, you stay overnight somewhere, you might as well at least look. So yeah, then she was kind of like, she was looking around, and I could tell she really liked it, but she was like, well.
It was the location that I had, and it wasn't a horrible location at all.
The thing is,
but it just wasn't what I wanted.
There was a small amount of town noise far off in the distance. But Tara is more sensitive to noises than other people. And so I think she was a little unsure about that. And she said, well, let me...
We have 1,100 people watching on YouTube.
Wow. Wow, we do. Oh my, I didn't see that. She said she's really sensitive to noise. And
just a disclaimer, noise like barking dogs makes me physically ill. But it does. It makes me physically ill listening to that. Well, so just a disclaimer.
And like here, it's literally like the dogs are right there.
For hours.
But at that place, if you listen real hard, you can hear a dog way off in the distance when you're outside and not in the house at all. But the thing is, other things that like Tara also has trouble. She's always had trouble with this, where if at one point there was some kind of a plant not that far away from us, and you could hear just the
cement plant,
the rumbling all day long off in the distance, and that really bothered her. But it was off in the distance far enough that I didn't really process it. So it's that kind of stuff that's been a big part of the problem. Is we found a house here in Colorado at one point that was really nice, except there was a highway nearby that wasn't making a lot of noise sometimes when we went, and then one day it was. And I guess that was because it was a busier time.
Yeah.
And so, so I think her concern was I could hear some noises way off in the distance, but they weren't bad noises. But then she said, well, yeah, I really like it. Well, let me let you know what I'm thinking or what I was envisioning. And then she took me way out into the country. It is an exceptionally beautiful place out there. And we sat and I rolled down the windows and talked to Jill, and you couldn't hear any noise at all out there, not even the wind. There was nothing. And I totally liked the area where she took me for that, but out there it would be way more money than we could afford right now. And also we wouldn't really be able to get internet very easily, if at all. And so we were talking about it, and I told her, well, I understand that's what you like, and that's what I like too. But at the same time, I realized, especially if we're going to be doing any kind of business, it's nice to be closer to town. So especially in the winter, we don't have to drive half an hour to be able to go to town and go to the post office or buy groceries or whatever.
Well, I forgot to say, it's only a half a mile from the post office, which for the business is beautiful. And it's only 8 blocks from the hospital. So for me and my accidents, that's even more beautiful.
Let's hope there aren't any more accidents. But anyway, the other thing is, because it is in the town, the roads would be plowed except for our driveway.
Yeah.
And
Why is that important? Because the semi trucks need to get to our house to deliver books. That's
but it's
why
also
that's
important because it's hard if you live real far out in the country and you have to drive 10 miles and you don't have a vehicle that's because they won't plow it a lot of times at all.
Yeah.
And so there were just a lot of things that I thought, this isn't what we expected, but I think this is going to be better. It's kind of like a blend of the both worlds that we wanted. And so then we came back and listened again, and it was a lot quieter than I think Tara had remembered before we drove out there. And we listened at different times of the day, and we came back in the evening and in the day, and mostly in the workday part of the day. Off in the distance, we could hear a little bit of activity in the town. Well, what's funny, though, is I said to Tara, so there was a train like 2 or 3 miles away, and whenever it crosses a specific street, it's supposed to blow its horn. And so literally like 2 or 3 miles away. So you can imagine if you heard it honk its horn, it wouldn't be very loud. But we were there talking, and I said to Tara, wow, what did I say? Something like, it's just amazingly quiet out here. And then it went, it's like a cute train horn. But all it did was just beep just for a second like that. And so I think in the end, we realized it seems to have really everything we want. I mean, except for, city internet out in the country where it's totally quiet. So that eventually we could do something like that, but it's very plausible we might not ever want to move from this house. I mean, we could, and we always want to make sure when she was talking about the kind of the neighborhood and stuff like that, we always want to make sure, because of our experience with houses up to now, we realize that you always need to have a plan for what if I had to sell it.
Yeah.
Because the last one we were at in Kansas, we absolutely adored the house, and we ended up needing to leave, but it wasn't our plan really to leave. We liked it a lot.
Yeah.
So
here's what happened. So we were sitting there in the office with the realtor, and I was still having doubts. He was filling out all the paperwork, and I'm like, oh man, I don't know what to do. Because when we signed the papers on this house, I'm not kidding. The second we signed them, I completely regretted it. And I wanted to go down and chase the man down the street and say, give me those papers back. I don't want this house. And here we've been here 10 years. So I was just really getting panicked, and I was like, oh, I don't know. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to do it. And if God wants this to happen, they will accept our offer. And if he doesn't, if he knows what we need, and if it's not going to work, they're not going to accept our offer. There's tons of offers. So what we did was we offered them $30,000 over the asking price with an escalation clause, which means we would give them $2,500 over the other highest price that they have.
but if it does escalate at all, then we have the ability to say, no, that's higher than we'd really want to pay.
So we had an out.
We already knew it was going to
Escalate.
we knew it was going to go for higher than they were asking, but we just wanted to sort of see where it was likely to fall.
Yeah.
And part of that was, if this is a God thing, then it will be acceptable to us.
Yeah. And so then we wrote them a letter saying how much we love the house and how I love the gardens, and I really appreciated all the work they had done with the drip irrigation and everything. And we got a letter from our realtor saying he was doing that in the middle of all this, saying how he thinks we can sell our house in 3 to 4 days tops. And so we took all that, gave them the offer, and then we waited. So we went back over, and I'll be honest, as soon as I signed the papers, literally the second my signature was on that paper, I felt totally at peace with it. And I was like, you know what? This is in God's hands. If we're supposed to get this house, I really, really like it, and I think it would really work. But if we don't get this house, I'm not going to be upset. And I had already, here's what's hilarious, is Saturday, I had just planted all my garden. I got all the onions in, the beets, the carrots, the tomatoes, the cilantro, the parsley. I got everything planted. Zucchini, squash. I planted everything.
Jonathan super chatted
thanks,
for Bibles.
Jonathan.
Thank you, Jonathan.
Yay, $12 for Bibles. Thank you so much. And so I was like,
Someone wants to know how our property taxes are moving.
Okay, so we're going to talk about that in just a second. So I was totally at peace after that. I'm like, this is in God's hands. He knows I'm not comfortable with this. If this is not right, then he's going to stop it for us. Okay. So we spend the night, we go back over the next day, and I was like, actually, I really like it out here. So it would be kind of nice if we got it. But we were like, you know what? If we don't get it, we're okay with it. We drive home. At 5 o'clock, they were looking at offers. And at 5:05, we get a call from the realtor, and he says, well, are you ready? I said, what? He said,
pack up your stuff.
Pack up your stuff. You're moving.
You're like, woohoo.
We're like, what? Because we were totally in shock. Honestly, I didn't think we would get it in one sense, but in another sense, I was kind of like, we actually might get this house. And
I
so
felt like we were moving.
I was kind of on the fence.
Pam says, I told you to plant a garden.
I know.
It's funny, for years she's been saying, if I plant one, then we're going to move right away. And it's like, wouldn't that be a good thing?
Jack said, Mom, I told you to plant the onions, and you planted the onions. I said, yes, you did.
It was literally a week later.
So we were in rush hour traffic at 5:05, almost got killed 3 times, coming home from people driving crazy. And we were like,
Once we got back into
thank you,
Colorado.
Jesus.
Well,
So we got the
a
house.
few more months left. We're done.
And so we were super, super excited. And I just have to tell you, everything is really kind of falling in place. I was not happy because the property taxes are actually higher there than they are here in Colorado. And the utilities at this house are higher than our utilities here at this house. And I was like, man, it was only like an extra probably $250, $300 a month. But I was like, that's a lot. Do we really want to do that much? And the other thing is we would have to get a small mortgage for this place. We were like, do we really want to do all that? Well, come to find out, Wyoming doesn't have income tax. And because of the income tax that you don't have to pay there, we are actually, what did we figure? $3,500 we're saving?
$5,500.
We're actually saving $5,500 even with the higher taxes and higher utilities.
Can you guys clarify
Because-
why you're not disclosing
Hold on.
location?
Because the income tax here, it starts real low but graduates pretty fast.
Yeah.
And this year we're like, wow, that's a lot of income tax.
So we're actually saving $5,500. Now, here's the thing. We are moving to Wyoming. So we are definitely moving to Wyoming. And it is a city in Wyoming. But here's the catcher. Here's the catch. How do you say that?
Here's the rub.
We're not going to tell you what city it is yet.
We are going to tell you.
We are going to tell you,
But we
but
have reasons.
we're going to wait until we actually get moved into the house before we show you pictures of the house and before we tell you what city it is.
We want to make sure everything is going to go.
Yeah. We don't.
But we will be showing you and telling you.
Yes. And here's the thing. It's actually, here's the things that are falling into place. So we save $5,500 a year by not having to pay income tax. We wanted to move mid-July because we wanted to get all our books for sale, all our books sold, hopefully. By the way, 50% off everything, guys.
What do you call it?
Everything. Our Please Don't Make Us Move sale. Please don't make us move it. Please. We're
And
begging you. 50%
actually,
off.
We were just about to reorder one of them that's close
Yeah.
to running out, but we're like, oh, maybe we should see if we can.
Well, and that's the next thing. We were getting ready to have to reorder Dining 2 because we're getting close to getting out of Dining 2. By the way, the 50% is only while supplies last. When we're out of books, the 50% is off, okay?
And some things are up to 75.
Yeah. On ebooks, we have ebooks 50 to 75% off. But here's the thing. The timing for getting Dining 2 reprinted and shipped to the new house is perfect. Absolutely perfect. Well, so then I'm getting ready to do some brain zapping. I'll explain that later. But anyway, I'm going in for to have some brain zapping done.
Not even commenting. Not even commenting.
And to see if something can help with my CFS and all of this kind of thing. But I have to go every single day for 6 weeks. Well, that's falling into place.
It's going to be the perfect timeline, yeah.
Yeah, that's falling into place to get all that done, because it's not, the city that we're going to is not a bigger city. It's a smaller city. And so
all the cities in Wyoming are
well,
smaller
all the
cities.
cities in Wyoming are small. Yeah. And so I guess smaller than what we have here, I should say. So that's falling into place. I have been listing everything that we have that I can, our elliptical, my old vintage chairs, everything I can list on Facebook Marketplace. It's all selling. I mean, it's just selling.
But also, wow, I was like, dear, don't make yourself sick, because I was really, when we got back, I was having to work extra hard to try to get a bunch of work things done and also a bunch of things for the house arrangements. And Tara she just immediately went to decluttering and organizing, cleaning everything and getting rid of stuff. And then I kind of was helping with some of that, but mostly her. And I was thinking, don't make yourself sick over it. But then I was thinking, man, you could tell that she's really excited.
But we have to get it done. So here's what we're doing.
I mean, I think
So-
it's worth being sick to.
Yeah. I mean, and I'll tell you guys, last night I was in so much pain. Mike was rubbing me and he barely touched me. And I was like, I can't stand this. That just hurts too much. But here's the thing. We are listing our house next week. Well, we'll do it in a minute. We are going to list. I also got, another thing that fell into place was I got 10 full days to declutter and get the house into shape. That is a miracle in itself, because they don't want it until July. We're not moving until July 16th. And so,
I thought it was somebody else.
so I got a full 10 days to declutter and get the house staged, to get as many books sold as we can and out of the garage so we can move all the boxes and everything into the garage, which will be perfect.
And that's partly because the people on the other end, they asked not to close until after a certain date. And we're like, well, we're not in a huge hurry, so we can give you a little longer. And we thought it'd definitely give us the opportunity to be.
So that's another thing that's falling into place, is we got a longer timeline. So I got 10 full days to get the house decluttered and cleaned up and staged. Then what we're going to do is we are going to get the house totally immaculate, and we're going to leave, and we're going to head up there for the inspection. And here's another thing that fell into place. Because houses are going so crazy, I couldn't get an inspector. And I found an inspector who would do it at the exact time that we need on the exact day. And then we need to clean the carpets in this house. And I found a carpet cleaner who could get in exactly the night before we leave to get it all completely sparkling before we leave. It's like everything is falling into place. And we knew, that's Ellie. By the way, make your announcement quickly. What's on sale?
Oh,
You have to
please
announce.
buy my stuff because I made a mistake.
You made a mistake.
You
What
made
does
a
that mean?
mistake.
No, here's the deal.
Say it so they can hear
So
it.
I restocked everything at Go Milk Gifts, but then I decided to move. So please buy my stuff. So here's the deal. I'm doing 50% off for orders $50 or more.
Yep.
So if you would like something, please go to gomilkgifts.com.
Yep.
And
Including, we don't have it listed, but this is aloe vera soap, and we don't have it listed yet. But
okay, soon.
so here's what's happening. BJ and Ellie are going to stay here. She's moving into an apartment. He has an RV that he lives in. So they're going to be staying here at least for the first 6 months. Ellie's trying to decide she really wants to go up there with us. So she's kind of back and forth. She's not totally sure yet. BJ really wants to stay here and finish up something that he's doing right now. But here's the thing. There's room for 4 RV parking spots. So Jonathan, you and Out of Goshen could all come at the same time and visit us and just park right there on the property. We can have our own little party. Wait, we need to have our own little moving party. We need to have all these people come so that they can help us unload.
A couple of things I was going to address. A number of people asked about the weather. It is actually
Perfect.
It's perfect. It's not that much different than here in Colorado. The days would be a little shorter in the winter. It's just about the same as here. Probably slightly cooler in the summer.
Yeah.
Which would be perfect for Tara. And as far as humidity, about the same as here, not very humid.
Yeah.
So,
and I will say, I'm very disappointed that we have to get a mortgage because we were really, really trying to stay completely debt free. But we should be able to pay it off in 1 to 2 years.
A moving meetup.
So, yeah, moving meetup. That's what we need to have is a moving meetup. And please, we're begging you. And so we were really not wanting to get a mortgage, but if we can keep the business going like it is right now, we should have it paid off in 1 to 2 years. And so we decided that it was worth
Mike
it.
gets a serious face on again.
Yeah.
Well, one thing I was telling Tara, not too long before this, I said, maybe we should look in a higher price range because even though we don't really want to spend more money, the amount of stress that Tara has been in more than everyone else. I mean, it's been a little stressful for all of us, but the amount of stress that she's been in, plus all the time spent looking at houses for all these years and driving around a lot of other places and all that, we might as well just have the one focus of, focusing on paying something off. And so it ended up that this one was the best thing because we didn't really have to go up very much.
Yeah.
And so we'll be able to take care of that quickly, but then there's sort of an end date for that. Whereas Tara's stress at living here and continuing to look for houses all the time, I think would be over, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully.
So
at least that part of stress, because really, I know I keep harping on this, but the dog barking here, I mean, it makes me physically ill. And that's one of the things I'm hoping the brain zapping will help me with. But it's like,
Laura G, happy wife, happy life, Mike. That's exactly what I was thinking. The friends in my Bible study said, if mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy.
yeah. So I don't know. We we really don't have that many connections here. As a matter of fact, I kind of thought, now we have a few people that I'm sure they would come and help us if we asked them. But, they live further away and I don't want them to do that. Actually, some of our viewers. But I was like, I don't have anybody that I can call and help me pack. I mean, the kids are helping me, but like friends or anybody, I was like, I don't have anybody that I could call.
Oh, we had an offer from the Bible study yesterday.
To help us pack. But I mean, help me pack the house and declutter the house and stuff is what I was meaning,
Yeah.
And
Do people do that?
yes, people do that.
Oh.
You don't do it all yourself. Nan's helped me with all the other 15 moves we've done.
Mm.
Oh,
But-
man, I'm smelling the food again. That smells awesome.
But and Mike has his Bible study that he's attached to, and Dave and him and Jack like to go hiking. But we can go hiking where we're going to be at. It's got really good hiking, not very far from where we're going to be. And so,
and it's not super, super far away, so we can still come back here and hike if we want to hike in Rocky Mountain.
yeah.
So there's just a lot of, it's really a good thing, I think.
I think it's going to be a good thing for us. I'm excited. I have hope for living again.
Oh.
Wow.
The kids are like,
She said that. Okay.
Wait, what?
I said, I have hope for living again.
Oh,
Um,
mean,
Beth, could this be your forever home? It could be.
It could be.
We don't know for sure. But
I don't know.
We always like to know
Always
if we
like to have
had to
an
sell it,
exit
how
plan.
could we do
Yeah.
it? But our desire would be to never move again.
Yeah.
Especially my desire. I
Well,
think.
and here's the thing, because our house looks out to a nature preserve, I thought we should do a live streaming YouTube channel where we just set up the camera for our backyard and people can just watch the pheasants and the deer and the turkey and the birds flying in and out. Wouldn't that be cool to just do a live stream?
You could sit out with your tea and not say anything, and everybody could just watch it with you sitting there, and you'd be enjoying it with them.
I think that's a great idea.
I said not say anything because normally Tara's not the chatty one. You might not know that from watching the show, but she's really not.
Actually, I'm usually not. Talking makes me really, really sick.
Is your mom moving in with you?
So we don't know
people
yet.
Would literally love that, by the way.
Literally love what?
Who said that? From Jessica with Love says people would literally love that, the nature thing.
Oh, I think they would. You know, like a relaxing thing. Oh, and here's the thing. I wanted a place with water. Well, it's not right on our property, but about 20 feet from our property is water. So that if, you know, the fecal matter hits the oscillation unit, we would have water right there by us. And so I was super happy even about the water because I really wanted a property with water.
Really?
Is mom moving with us? We don't know yet. So she might move in for 6 months. She doesn't want to live in the basement,
She said
which is fine. But she might come and move for like 6 months or a year and then find her own place, or we could maybe build her something then and do that. So I don't know if mom's moving in yet. She really needs to get out of the house she's in right now. So we were kind of like, you need to get out of there. But I don't know. We'll see. She is coming next week. And she is going to go up there with us, and then she can maybe make a little bit better decision when she gets there. So,
with water that close, are you in a flood zone?
No.
The house is on a hill, and it's definitely not in the flood zone. So
Yeah.
it's amazing. In fact, it's Ms. T. The house has 1.5 acres of land with it, but because that nature preserve, it actually feels like a lot more.
Yeah. Are we living where Going Batty is at? No.
Oh, but you know what?
No.
We have talked about going to
But we've
visit
talked
them.
about visiting them.
I didn't tell them
Yeah.
that, but
We had thought about
great.
going to visit them.
Yeah.
But no, that's not. So here's the thing. We're not giving you the city or pictures yet.
But we
But we
will.
will. As soon as we move in, we'll give you a house tour.
We need to kind of wait till we move in because
We have some things that we just can't
partly
right
it's not
now.
ours
So
yet. Yeah. So.
we can't right now. But anyway,
How interesting. Carolyn says, I have fibro too, and dogs barking is something I can't handle either, or noise and
Really?
traffic.
so
Actually,
maybe it's a fibro thing. That's what I'm hoping my brain zapping will help me with.
but in any case, at this house, it's quiet it's quiet inside all the time, and it's pretty quiet outside. It's like during the working part of the day when the town is a little more bustling, we can hear a little bit of distance noise. But at night, none at all. And
Yeah, it was super quiet at night when we went the first night, and we
all
loved
that,
it.
All that darn wildlife making all that noise.
But
Actually,
wouldn't
we
that
like
be cool to
not
have a
that
live
was-
stream?
And Mike was joking in case you didn't get that.
Yes, he was joking. But if the fecal matter hits the oscillation unit, we won't starve.
What is that even?
We got turkey, we got deer, we got pheasant, we got fish. We would have it all right there. We wouldn't starve. So, see? Talk about prepping, huh?
Aren't incorrect, but that's the
Talk about prepping. The question is, who's going to clean it? So,
yeah, nothing.
Yeah,
I
we'd
don't
have to
know.
be pretty desperate.
I don't want to clean the
all right.
birds up.
Any
Yeah.
comments? Or first of all, guys, 50% off. Please don't make us move it sale. We are begging you. This is a deal of the century. I don't know that we've ever had our books 50% off except for when we were clearancing for the last move. 50% off, guys. If you need Christmas presents, get it now. It includes all of our print books. All of our ebooks are also 50% off, and our e-courses are 75% off for all of you guys who want the e-products. We're just doing it all. And Ellie's
This is really an only when we're moving kind of
Yeah,
sale.
this is not a sale we ever hardly have. Ellie's soaps And goat milk creams, 50% off if you buy $50. She wants to hear some dinging on her phones, guys, because she wants to get rid of it, and she doesn't.
Save me.
You don't want to move all that inventory?
What am I gonna do with it?
What are you going to do with it?
No, actually, this is like the biggest sale done too. So
Yeah.
if you want something, grab it. Because I'm also not sure what I'm gonna restock next. So
Yeah. So if you need the goat milk cream, grab the goat milk cream. Show it real quick. She has the 2 sizes. She has the 4 ounce here and the 8 ounce here. And we don't know when. She's not quite sure on where she's moving yet. So she's not sure on how that's going to work yet for reopening. So
Evelyn, hi Tara. Sorry, I have fiber too. And not only dogs barking, but sirens make me crazy.
oh yes.
Wow, that
Yes.
must be a fibromyalgia thing.
Oh shoot. Can you go deal with that? Sorry, we got somebody coming to buy something. Or it might be the guy for the pallets. So ask him. So I should have put our pallets for $5 each. I had people coming and coming, and then I put these vintage chairs I had on sale, and I only charged $10, and I've got like 40 people who want them. So I knew I priced them way too low. I'm just sick, but I already told the guy who offered me $10 more. He offered me $40 instead of 30. So I said, okay, I'll give them to you. But anyway, so that is our miracle that happened, guys. I mean, 100% miracle. I honestly didn't think we were going to find anything at all, because it's just crazy, all the stuff that's going on right now with the house buying. And we did offer them more, but we left it so that if they got a bigger offer, we would have an in, but we had an out for ourselves also if we decided we didn't want to do it. So we did both of those things. So anyway, Glory, if the fecal matter hits the oscillation unit. Yes, that's my new favorite saying. Jen, I am going in for TMS. I had thought about filming it to see. So I don't know if it's going to work or not, but I hope so. So anyway, let me look through comments here and see. Is there a well on the property? Not that I know of, but there's water right next to it. So there's a stream and a river and ponds. So we've got 3 different ways doing that. So Jennifer, how about having 20 kids in your block literally and not one parent has a problem with the screaming? We have the same problem here. My door's open, so I can't say it very loud. One of the neighbor kids, all she does is scream all day long. It's like, how in the world can you scream for 8 hours at a time? I know, the parents throw her outside because they don't want to listen to it. Well, I don't want to listen to it outside while I'm working in my garden. I'm turning into an old fart, I guess. I know. So anyway, I totally get that. All right, let's see. What do we got? So I have a problem. I was going to stop the show, but Mike and Dave both left and I don't know how to stop it. Getting rid of stuff frees the mind. I gave my microwave away, stopped using the one in the past year. I've been in the same house for 20 years. Yes, here's the thing, guys. If you're moving, don't hesitate. Just get rid of it. Now, we're having a little bit of a problem because the place we're going to is smaller than where we're at now. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to find some things. Like we got some really nice bikes given to us. And I mean, we're talking like a $450 bike. A friend just gave it to us. She gave us 3 of them. So we hate to get rid of stuff like that. So we're going to have to get a bigger moving van for things like that this time. But, I think it'll be worth it to go ahead and do that. So we've already taken one big trash run this morning. The trash guys, I made them brownies because the trash was really, really bad. So yeah, see if there's anything new. And so we got the pickup half full already for the next trash run we're doing Saturday. And then Monday, they're coming to take pictures. And then Wednesday, we're putting it on the market. Give me a high five, Dave. Are you ready to move? What do you think about moving? Are you excited?
Mm-hmm.
You are?
Yep.
Grocery prices, more or less than Colorado. They are actually slightly less than Colorado. So, yes. So, anyway. Actually, we don't have a church family.
That's
So-
something we've been shooting for 10 years, and it has not worked.
So actually, our church, right before that thing hit back last March, when everybody got locked down, we actually were having some issues with our church. And it was funny because we were thinking about leaving already. And so the church that we were going to, we had stopped going to, and we did online all last year then. And then this year we started going to another one just about 3 or 4 weeks ago. And it's okay, but we only know a couple of people there. And so it's not like we're real bonded or anything there. So no, we don't really have too many people there. But do I have a plan for live shows? No. So this is the problem we're running into. The new house, the kitchen is not set up for live shows at all. It's going to be really tough. I don't know how we're going to do it. So we may just have to sit on the back deck and talk to you guys, or maybe I could grill.
Well, that would be good.
I could
I mean,
grill.
The back deck. Oh, it's so good. It looks so nice in the photos. I think you could do a grilling show.
We could cook maybe on the back
really
deck or
could.
something. Maybe that might work
You
actually.
could fit a kitchen on the back deck if you want.
Well, and I thought, our live streaming for the wildlife thing, I thought in the winter when it snows, I could live stream with like a fire pit out there. Wouldn't that be cool and relaxing? And you could hear all the nice nature sounds and everything. I don't know.
Oof.
Yeah, so I don't know. Yeah, we're not real sure about the whole church thing when we get there. They have a few churches that we can try, so we don't know how that's gonna work.
We're gonna be improvising.
So do you know how to turn off the show?
Oh yes.
Okay.
You want me to?
All right, so guys, 50% off. Please help us not to move it sale. Please. 50% off all our print books, 50% off ebooks, and 75% off our e-courses. Ellie's got 50% off $50 or more soaps, goatmilkgifts.com. Guys, hold on. Let me throw the links in here one more time for you guys to grab it all, because we really don't want to move it, and we would just absolutely love it if you guys could help us out and get this stuff gone so that we don't have to move it. Dave, how do you feel about moving?
Go. I don't want to do the process to get there, but
You're ready to go?
I'm ready to go.
Well, now Dave got the
After-
elliptical and the air hockey table up here
Well,
for
after that
selling.
experience, I'm not sure I want to
That was the hardest part.
do too much more.
That was the hardest part. Getting the air hockey table and the elliptical out of the basement.
15,000 books to ship.
Yes. Yeah. So the air
Yeah.
hockey and the elliptical were the two hardest things to get out of the basement. So we got the hardest part over with for that.
We gotta call the neighbor kids to help ship books.
Yeah, I do have 2 neighbor kids that are helping me pack up, and we might call neighbor kids or something to help us on packing days. I don't know if we have enough neighbor kids to do that. So, all right. Thank you. Antonia loves the soap videos. Good. Is there a different shipping method other than priority? Yeah, it's media mail. So if you're in the United States, it's media mail.
Fire pit cooking.
Fire pit cooking. Oh, that's a good idea, actually. Yeah. We are moving to Wyoming, Crescent. So we are moving to Wyoming. And just so you know, if you're listening to this in the UK, we cannot ship to the UK anymore because of their new VAT laws. So I'm really sorry about that. But we do have the ebooks 50% off for you so that you can get the ebooks. All right. Thank you guys for tuning in and sharing our excitement with us. We really appreciate it. Have a good night And we will see you next Wednesday. Bye. livingonadime.com.